Have you ever considered buying a multifamily property and living in it yourself to make your living expenses essentially rent-free, mortgage-free? All right, so we're going to talk about buying your first rental right after this. Rhonda with Comey and Shepherd Realtors, and today we're talking multifamily properties. So if you've ever considered investing, I think a great way to get started is, and probably the easiest way to get started, is to buy a multifamily property and you live in it. So whether it's a duplex and you live in one side and have the person next door essentially pay the mortgage for you, or you buy, say, a 4-unit building and you live in one of the apartments while collecting rent from everyone else. Now, the cool thing about buying an investment property and living in part of it is that if you are occupying that property, you can use an FHA loan. Now, you still must qualify and have the correct amount of income to make that work, but you can purchase with just 3.5% down, just like a regular single family residence. And for a lot of people, that's huge. So not only do you get a low down payment, but you also have a rental property. You've got income coming in to cover your mortgage. And that's huge. And the stipulations are, if you're going to use an FHA loan, you need to have one of the units available within 60 days to move in, and you have to own that property for at least 1 year. That's not that bad. Even if you're thinking, geez, I just don't know how I'm going to love this. If you're living in an apartment now, it's probably not going to be that different. But if you're coming from single family and this is going to be new, a year, I feel like most people can do anything for a year, right? How do I know if it's a good investment to buy this property? Well, we always want to look at basically how much income is coming in, and we multiply that monthly income by 12 to get the yearly income. And then we subtract out all the expenses for the year. So taxes, insurance, any utilities that the landlord is going to be responsible for, say trash, if there's any assessments or anything else that you think is going to have to be a monthly payment or a repair. You're going to get what we call a net income at the end of that. You subtract all those expenses out, and then we are going to divide that number by the purchase price. That gives you a cap rate. What's a cap rate? Well, it's basically a number that's going to help you know if that is going to be a good investment. We want that cap rate to be between 4 and 10%. And that just kind of helps you know that, yep, it's falling into this category where, yes, there is income, money is coming in, but you can look at the numbers and see, is it going to be enough? Is it going to, make a difference in my world to make it worth it? Now, if you are looking at purchasing a multifamily property or even just a single family rental property, if you are not going to live in that property, you have to look at paying a little bit higher down payment. It's usually closer to 25% to put down on that. And that, they're looking at more serious investors. And so that's part of the reason that I like when people can get into something with that low down payment, figure out how things work, but it gives you, kind of free, like I said, kind of free rent, or, someone else is paying your mortgage, And then you can kind of see what you think of collecting rent, dealing with maybe a boiler or some other system that you're not used to. But that type of thing, it just gives you kind of a taste without diving in to something that, you've just put yourself at risk. And if someone isn't living in that single family property, you're paying all the expenses. And I never like that situation. I always want someone in the property helping to pay for it. So my risk is minimized. So another option always would be Airbnb. If you have a property that, if you can't get it rented right away, you could always put it up on the Airbnb or vrbo.com websites and try to get somebody, for a week or two here and there until you can find a solid renter. Because you never want to take on somebody that isn't the right person. Trust me, it's never a good thing to take somebody who's just a warm body and you think they're going to pay the rent. Always do background checks. Always check their credit. And don't be afraid to say no. All right? I hope this has been helpful and helps you make some determinations of what you want to purchase in the future. Have any questions? Reach out. Also, comment below. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.